Okay. So Hare Krishna everyone. Let's start with the your number obeisance to Shri Radha Govinda. We'll start the session with the Mangalachan. Om Ajnana-तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति सुप्तान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणं रघुनाथान्वतीमं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं स श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी पुष्पानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पांचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुवेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय ओम श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्ता वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे So, Hare Krishna, welcome you again to chapter 4 of level 2, and we'll start today with this chapter. Okay. So chapter 4 is the Jnana Yoga, right? So before we did before this, we had, we started with the bewilderment of Arjuna and the 5 questions of the Arjuna, the what were his doubts, and which was cleared in the second chapter by Krishna himself, leading to compassion, no sinful reactions, right? And no enjoyment, right? And destruction of family dynasty and initiation. The 5 questions were given by doubts, by given dilemma, by given by the Arjuna, and right away Krishna has told everything in the second chapter right away. And then we did the third chapter, the Karma Yoga, the detail of the, the Arjuna had the doubt that are you seeking renunciation, or are you telling me to do action, which is better, because he was confused the buddhi with the intelligence. He was trying to avoid the war using the buddhi yoga or intelligence. He mistook the buddhi yoga for intelligence, right? So that was his question. They clear my doubt. So then Krishna clears his doubts in 3.3 to 3.9. Then do Nishkam Karma Yoga, that always, one cannot be without any action. One has to perform some action or the other, because soul is an active nature, right? Soul is active nature. It will always do something. So Niyatam Kuru Karma, do prescribed duties. So at least do prescribed duties. From then we learned that how to go about from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. Pravatitam Chakram, cycle established by the Vedas, the cycle of sacrifice we learned in there, and then Yat Achariti Sheshtas, right? Whatever you do, then all the common man follows. We learned by that. Be then example, become an example. Krishna himself becomes an example when he comes here, and overcome the greatest enemy, that is lust and anger, right? So 3.36 to 40 we dealt with that. Now we will come to the chapter 4, the Gyan Yoga part. That what is, it is only Karma Yoga, but you need some knowledge, right? Some knowledge should be there. So the Gyan Yoga comes in between. And what is the Gyan Yoga? What Krishna will talk about? He will talk about the Krishna transcendental knowledge, right? Evam, right? He will explain about the, how this knowledge has come, right? How has knowledge has come and how it has lost. How it has lost is, what was the reason that it has got lost and how it got lost, right? Second section will be the Krishna, right? What is the ultimate goal, right? What is the ultimate goal? It's the goal of all past and creator of the Varnashrama system, right? Why Varnashrama system is needed, right? Why it is, why it is established, why Krishna established, the Varnashrama system. And he will tell that whatever progress you do, he reciprocates right away. So ye yathamam prabodhyante tam sathaiva bhajamyam. Yeah, yeah, Tamam Prabhudev. All who surrender unto me, right? Whatever, however you say, you do, you approach the Krishna, similarly, he reciprocates in the same way, right? So reciprocation is done by the Krishna himself. Yeah, yeah, Tamam Prabhudev. Right? Tam Sathaiva Bhajamyam. And section 3 is Karma Yoga. Section 3 there will become so Karma Yoga and the Jnana part, right? Karmano hi api bodhavyam. Understand difference between action and inaction, unauthorized action, right? Karma, vikarma, and akarma. We will learn three types of karma. And what are the knowledge about the karma will be talked in this chapter, right? The knowledge about the karma. That's why it comes in the part of the Karma Yoga only. But the knowledge related to the karma will be dealt in this chapter. And the section 4 will be the sacrifices leaded to transcendental knowledge, right? What kind of sacrifice leads to the transcendental knowledge? Jnana, yagna, parantapa, sacrifice and knowledge. Then the summary comes to the transcendental knowledge. That vidhi pranipatana parividat. One because you don't know how to approach, how to do approach the spiritual, spirituality. So you need a spiritual master, right? So understand knowledge of sacrifices through spiritual master, right? Tad vidhi pranipatana pariprashnena sevaya, right? So we will learn in this section 5. So first section is the transcendental knowledge about Krishna. So here comes the history. Here comes the history, the how this Bhagavad Gita, how this knowledge is coming, right? So Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Imam Vivishvate Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivishvan Manavebraha Manur Ishvaka Vebravit. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The personality of Godhead Lord Sri Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god, Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and the Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here Krishna is telling that how this knowledge has come, how this knowledge is coming, right? He is telling about the, the history of the knowledge, right? It is not like it is, concocted, the mental concoction is done by himself, right? It is not like that. He is saying that this manual is how this manual has come, right? So he is saying he himself, since the knowledge is already occurring from him only, so he will be imparting, right? So he is saying that Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna basically instructed this to imperishable science of yoga to sun god Vivashvan, right? Vivashvan then given to the Manu. The current age of, current age of Manu is around 120 million years. So no, so at least 120 million years, then sun god Vivashwan has instructed this knowledge to Manu. So at least this knowledge is around 120 million years ago, right? So it's like that. So the sun god then given to the Manu, right? The father of the mankind, and then the Manu instructed it to Ishvaku, right? So this is the kind of disciplic succession we are talking about. That this is the kind of disciplic succession that okay, this knowledge has come from a source, an authentic source, the supreme personality got it. Some will say that okay, from where it is, you have done some mental concoction. So no, for them Krishna tells that okay, from where it is coming, right? Some will tell in the future also that okay, from where this knowledge coming, you are doing some interpretation of this. No, so he has clearly said Vivashwan Manave Prabha. Vivashwan Manave. So he has himself, and he has himself imparted this knowledge. So here comes the importance of parampara, right? Why we are into proper disciplic succession of ISKCON only? Why we are not going to any else sampradaya? Why? Because the various sampradayas are there, and there is a parampara, right? Proper parampara. Because if the knowledge is not coming from something as per the disciplic succession, then what will happen? Everything will be diluted, right? Every mental concoction will be there, various the interpretation will be there. Whatever Krishna is saying, that will not come, right? So that will be the issue. So transcendental knowledge about Krishna should be received by disciplic succession, right? So this reveals the truth about Krishna's form, his birth, and his activities. Rather, if you don't do that, what will happen? The mental concoction will tell, okay, this is not Krishna. This is the inside, inside something inside in the, who is talking. But Krishna himself is saying that I only imparted this knowledge to, he mentions the names, right? The individuality is not lost. In the second chapter, is also give the I was there, I was now, I am now, I will be there. You are also there. So individuality is there. So he specifically mentions, right? Specifically mentions Manu, he specifically mentions Vivishwan. So that no one thinks that individual is not, there is the individual he is talking about, that okay, this knowledge has come through this, right? So if someone says that okay, this is all rubbish inside, inside of the heart, someone is speaking, he is from there, Arjuna is listening. No, he mentions all the knowledge to whom Krishna actually in person has given this knowledge to. So knowing this truth, one who takes shelter of Krishna becomes purified and attains Krishna, right? Because if you know this, because if a devotee can only reveal this, right? A devotee can only reveal the the spiritual text, or the the essence behind the scriptures, right? Essence behind the what Krishna is saying. So Bhagavad Gita was developed by the Lord to the royal order of all planets, right? Beginning from the Sun planet, right? The Sun God is basically, he is the head of all planets, right? He is the king of all planets, right? So if you give to the king, right? Someone, for example, there is a society, right? If the society caretaker is the king is there of a of some city, of king is there basically, right? If the king, whatever knowledge he has, if he shares with the citizens, what will happen? They will get free from all the entanglements, right? So if the king is good, then all the all the citizens will be good, because he will give them the knowledge, right, to attain that. He will give them the education, he will give them the culture, the devotion will come, right? So everything will be, the consciousness will be good, because everyone will follow the king, right? So everyone will follow the king. The king of all planet needed to understand Bhagavad Gita. Why? To rule the citizens and protect them from material bondage to lust, right? So if he does not impart this knowledge to Manu, then then there will be loss, there will be loss in this human society, how to live and how to get free from these miseries, right? The message that human life is meant for cultivation of spiritual knowledge should be conveyed to the citizens through education, culture, and devotion, right? By educating everyone that, okay, this is the knowledge, follow this, have some culture, right? There is some, this is the culture, and have devotion towards the Lord, right? And propagation of Krishna consciousness was necessary, right? If it is not done, then the fourfold miseries will be there. So it is very necessary that king takes care of its, if of its citizens like a child, right? So the king is like a father, right? So he takes care all of the citizen like a child. So similarly, Krishna imparted this to, okay, you are the head of all the planets. So it is necessary the king, the sun planet only, himself knows that what is, what is the principles of religions, right? So in this millennium, the sun god is known as Vivishwan, the king of the sun planet. The sun planet is the origin of all planets within the solar system. In the Brahma Samhita 5.52, it is stated, Achakshur, Achakshuri Sasavita Sakalagrahanam, Rajasamasta Suramurti Teja, Yakshagna Brahmati Sambrata Kala Chakro, Govindamadi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. So this is mentioned in the Brahma Samhita. They are said by the, when the Krishna Leela was going, when the Krishna Brahma took away all the cows and the friends of the Gopas of the Krishna, then he, basically when he came down, then the Brahma Samhita was spoken by the Brahma answer to the to say the glories of the Lord, right? So Lord Krishna originally made Vivishwan his first disciple to understand the science of Bhagavad Gita, right? That Gita is a standard book of knowledge coming down from times immemorial. So history of Gita is in Mahabharata, Santi Parva 348.51 to 52. Treta Yugadau cha tato vivashvan manave dadau. Manusya loka brata artham sutakshave kave gadadau. Ishvakuna cha kantho vyapya loka navishtata. In Treta Yuga, the science of relationship with the Supreme was delivered by Vivashvan to his lawgiver son Manu, right? And Manu, being the father of the mankind, gave it to his son Maharaja Ishvaku, right? He was the ruler of the king, right? He was the ruler of the earth. So king of this earth planet and forefather of the Raghu dynasty, right? In which Lord Ramchandra appeared. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita existed in human society from the time of Maharaja Ishvaku, right? So we can see that this knowledge is not not arise right now. It is so long, right? What we are not talking about thousands in years, hundreds of years, no, millions and billions of years, right? Millions and billions, right? So why this knowledge has, why, if it is so true, if it is so true, how this knowledge is again being imparted to the Arjuna? This question will come, that if you have said that, okay, there is a parampara succession, okay, you have given this, then he will give that, he will give that. Why it is broken in between? Why it is broken in between? Why it is not important, right? So therefore that answer, the Krishna tells, this doubt will come definitely, right? Krishna is given once, but again he is speaking, right? So this doubt will come. So for that, this shloka is there. एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम इमं राजर्षियो विदो सकालेन महत्ता योगो नाश्त परंतपा. हरे कृष्णा. Anyone? हरे कृष्ण माता जी. Yes, हरे कृष्ण लतिका माता जी,
Hare
पूर्व माता
Krishna
जी.
Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी.
The supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science it is appears to be lost. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The supreme science was thus through, it was earlier used to know the kings were saintly, right? The those kings who were saintly, they understood it in the that way, right? But the saintly kings understood, but in the meantime there were not some saintly kings, right? So what will happen? But in course of time, the succession was broken, right? The succession is broken, right? The saintly kings used to understood, right? But some kings were not saintly. Then what will happen? This science will be broken, right? So but the course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. There's some mental concoction is going on, right? Everything is going for their own benefits they are talking about. So the science is lost, right? So this science needed to be spoken again 5,000 years ago, again by the Krishna to Arjuna, right? So at present moment, we have just passed through 5,000 years of Kali Yuga, right? So which lasts about 4.0. If this is X, if you assume this 4.32 million years as X, then twice of X will be Dwapar Yuga, that is 8.64 years. Thrice of this X will be Treta Yuga, 12.96 years, four times of X will be, 17,000 something of Satyuga, right? So that is the basic, time period of a whole one yuga cycle, right? So some 25,000, 200 years ago, Manu spoke Bhagavad Gita to his disciple, and Manu spoke to his disciple, son Maharaj Ishwaku, the king of this Parthan. The age of current Manu is calculated to 305 million years, of which his age is this much, and his age is 120 million years has already have been passed. So if he is 120 million years year old, then you can say that okay, when he was born, then at least at that time Vivishwan, son god Vivishwan, might have have spoken at least at that point of time when he was born 120 million years ago. It was spoken to the Manu, and then he spoke later to at 25,097 years ago to the his son Maharaja Ishwak, right? So we are talking about million and billions years, right? This is all history. So accepting that before the birth of Manu, the Gita was spoken to the Lord by Son God Vishnu. Gita was spoken roughly at least 120 million years ago, right? At least the age of Manu, right? So it has been extinct in human society for 2 million years, right? He is spoken by the Lord to Arjuna about 5,000 years ago. For 2 million years, it was lost, right? And was spoken to Sun God Viveshwan because he is also Kshatriya, right? It was spoken to Sun God Viveshwan? Because he is also a Kshatriya and is the father of all Kshatriyas who are descendants of the Sun God or the Surya Vamsha Kshatriyas. Bhagavad Gita, like the Vedas, spoken by the Lord, is Aparushya, superhuman. Aparushya means superhuman. Gita must therefore be accepted without mundane interpretation, right? The devotee's interpretation is the correct interpretation because it is, the heart of the Lord is revealed to the devotee only. The mercy is the understanding you get. If you clean the temple and you read the Bhagavad Gita, you will understand more rather reading and doing some mundane work and reading the Bhagavad Gita, right? But it's not like the science book. If you read the science book and you go and you clean your school and then you read this, science book, you will understand more. No, it will be not like that because this is transcendental, literally transcendental. If you do some devotional service and then you read the Bhagavad Gita, then you will get the understanding. Right? This is spiritual science, right? It works transcendently. So these are some paramparas, bona fide paramparas, right? This is Madhava. We belong to the Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. So first one is the Lord imparted this to Lord Brahma, then to Narad Muni, like this to Narad Muni, and through Madhavacharya, the first the Acharya, the Madhavacharya was imparted this knowledge, and subsequently then Jagannath Das Babaji, then Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. All this then disciplic succession in Srila Prabhupada, then it is imparted to us, right? So this is a proper, this is a proper disciplic succession, right? This is proper. There we are known, the ISKCON belongs to the Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. And there are three other sampradayas. Sri Sampradaya is, the founder Acharya is Ramanujacharya. Lakshmi ji imparted to Ramanujacharya, and then subsequently the disciplic section come. And there is Rudra Sampradaya. The Lord Shiva imparted the knowledge to Vishnu Swami, the Supreme Personality of Godhead given to Lord Shiva, and then from there the Vishnu Swami And then or you say Vallabhacharya, or you can name Vallabhacharya also. And the fourth sampradaya is from Lord Krishna to four Kumaras, and from there to Nimbarkacharya. Right, so these are the four disciple succession of Vaishnava trends. So four main sampradayas we learned, the important acharyas, the spiritual receptors, and the main are the main schools of thoughts and Vedic tradition basically. So one should at least belong to one of these sampradayas to consider authorized in their Vedic teachings or practice, right? So if we want to practice Krishna consciousness, then at least one should come into this to one of this sampradaya in order to progress in spirituality, right? So Sri Sampradaya main exponent is Ramacharya, who lived in 12th century, born in 1000 and 1016th century, and propagated the doctrine Vishishta Advaita or oneness Advaita with varieties of Lord and his energies originated from Shri of Goddess Lakshmi. The Brahma Sampadaya is that, main from Madhavacharya, propagated doctrine of Vishishta Advaita duality with varieties. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Prabhu came and he gave Chintya Bheda Bheda, that Dvait and Advait they exist simultaneously. How they exist? And it is inconceivable. Achintya means inconceivable, right? We cannot conceive it. And bhed, it is different also, right? Different, because every living entity is also existing, right? So a Paramatma is existing in every living entity. Bhed and abhed, right? It is not it is not different also. How it is not different? That Paramatma is only one, right? The supreme personality is only one. So Anu Atma, Vibhu Atma. So, from there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and told the philosophy of Achinta Bheda Bhed. And there's this Rudra Sampradaya, Vishnu Swami, and Vallabhacharya is also a branch of Sampradaya, right? This is also to have originated from Rudra or Lord Shiva. Then there is Nimbarkacharya, there's four Kumaras, that Hamsa, Chatusana, Kumara, or Sanat Sampradaya. The main exponent is Nimbarkacharya, who propagated doctrine called Advait, or simultaneous oneness and duality. This is said to have originated from Lord Brahma's sons, the Kumaras, of which Sanat Kumara is one. Right? So significance of parampara, why parampara is necessary. The Bhagavad Gita is coming directly from the Supreme Personality Godhead, right? So it is transcendent knowledge, must not be altered in any way, right? It was 700 shlokas earlier also. Since you can see that 700 shlokas is not changed by any gurus, any acharya. Nothing has changed. No shloka, not a single word, nothing, not a single syllable, nothing has been changed in this, even this 5000. So he is so attractive. He is the Supreme Personality Godhead, accepted by everyone who is in spirituality. So it is not changed, right? It is not, because it is transcendental knowledge. The knowledge of Gita must be accepted without material interpretation. No book can write that this is for business or this is for something else, right? This is just for bhakti, right? This is just for bhakti. Bhakti yoga is the only ultimate goal. Surrendering to the Supreme Personality of the God is the only goal in this book, right? And it must be understood by the mercy of the Lord, right? It can be understood only by the mercy of the Lord, right? The mercy is there, then only you will start reading the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore Bhagavad Gita must be accepted from someone who has achieved the Lord's mercy. Who accepted it from Srila Prabhupada, right? He wrote this book, Bhagavad Gita, as it is, right? So that is the proper qualification, having learned it properly from someone having the proper qualification, who learned it properly, etc. This is parampara, right? One who knows that what is knowledge, right? If you want to learn theory of relativity, then from whom you will learn? From the Einstein, or from someone Neil Bohr, or some other scientist, right? You will learn from the theory of relativity, right? If not, then if he is not present, what you will do? You will learn from his disciple, from his student, right? So that is the proper, that is the importance of proper parampara, right? Because if you don't learn, then you will learn something else, right? So this is a chart, we have seen this in the level 1 also. That okay, this is a Divya Yuga, X 4.32 million years, and 8.64 million years Dwapar, then Treka 1.296 million, 1.728 is Satyuga, right? So this is one's Divya Yuga. We are currently into Kali Yuga, and this is around 71 such Divya Yugas have been passed right now. And Manvantara is basically 306 million years. It is the age of Manu, and around 14 Manavantars and 15 Sandhyas is, has been the one day of Brahma consists of 4.32 billion years, right? One Kalpa is one day of Brahma. right? One kalpa is basically 1 day of Brahma. Okay. So, and same is the 14, in which 14 Manavantras and 15 Sandhyas comes, right? So the same length is the day, same length is the night also. And the life of Brahma is 311 trillion years, right? So so much huge life, but he was not immortal, right? He will also die, right? He will also die. So he has a fixed life, right? He has a fixed life. 36,000 kalpas will be there, and one kalpa is 1 day of Brahma, right? So and equal number of nights will be there, right? So at the end, starting of the day, he creates everything, and during night it destroys everything. So these are some calculations, right? So time elapsed, basically time elapsed in Kali Yuga is 5,017 years. How it has come? So Brahma passed around 50 years. So 4.32 billion years into this calculation has been done, and it comes from to 155 trillion years. 6 manavantras are over currently, so 1851 million years have been done. 27 cycles of 4 yugas are over. It comes on in 16 million years, and Satya Treta Dwapar is this much 3.88 million years, and time elapsed in Kali Yuga is this out of 4.32 million years, right? So life of Brahma basically you make 50 years this much, and other things we calculated of in trillion. So it comes to around this much 155.522 trillion years, right? Huge life, right? Huge life he has. So 27 cycles of 4 yugas, right? And this is the calculation time in Kali Yuga. Life of Manu comes out to be 120 million years. So accepting that before the birth of Manu, the Gita was spoken by the Lord to his disciple, the sun god Vivasvan. So at least 120 million years ago, Vivasvan, it was spoken at least. So, the Gita came on earth, how the Shanti Tarva, we can trace out the history of the Gita. त्रेतयुगदौ च ततो विवस्वान् मनवेददौ मानुषलोकबतर्थं सुत यक्ष्वा कवेददौ Ishvakuna cha katito vyapya lokan avasthita. In the beginning of the Treta Yuga millennium, the science of the relationship with the Supreme was delivered by Vivasvan to Manu. Manu, being father of mankind, gave it to his son Maharaj Ishvaku, the king of this earth planet and forefather of Raghu dynasty in which Lord Ramchandra appeared. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita existed in the human society from time of the Maharaj Ishvaku. The Gita came on earth around 2 million years ago. So this is some calculations. 1 day of Brahma, 1 hour of Brahma, 1 minute of Brahma, 1 second of Brahma, right? One lakh years is 1 second of Brahma. So 4 points. Saivayam mayate yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosmi sakhaseti rahasyam hi etat uttama. Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji.
That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this science is not being told to anyone, right? Even if ISKCON distributes the book, they don't start preaching, right? Because they will once learn without when one starts that one doesn't envy, then only he start. Okay, he will have some, he want to either he will be curious, either you will be in distress, he will be seeking some money, either he will be just wise to learn about the Lord Krishna. Then only he will approach and then you start reading, right? So at that time, at least this kind of person only, a neophyte also comes in. The neophytes are these four types. So it will be told to who is basically a devotee, right? He is basically, you all are devotee, right? We are all trying to become the devotee, right? We are all trying to become the devotee. So Krishna explains, right? Krishna explains very carefully to Arjuna, right? Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord, right? No one no we are not eligible, and that much, but he is eligible. So Krishna is directly speaking to him, right? That a very ancient science of relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you, right? What is the relationship of the Bhagwan with me, right? Why? Because Arjuna is the friend, right? And careful, and therefore understand transcendent mystery of this science. But if it's not a friend, he will not understand, right? Duryodhana did not understand, Shakuni did not understand, Dhritarashtra did not understand. The Supreme Personality Godhead are there, But the Pandavas only understood, the Kunti Mataji only understood, Draupadi understood. So everyone who is pious, who is a friend, who is basically a devotee of the Lord, will only understand this mysterious science, right? Else it will be very difficult for them, right? So Arjuna's qualification is he is a devotee and a friend. He accepts that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So only devotees can understand this knowledge, not who do not accept Krishna as he is, right? Because if we read about this book and we eliminate the Krishna, then this book has no value, right? It is all because of Krishna. Now the Arjuna will be coming that how can Krishna be born as a son of Devaki, and struck Vivashwan, who is willing of he will say that, okay, you are born just now, just from Devaki Mataji you have born, but how you are saying that sun god who is millions and millions years old, that you have spoken this to him, right? So this question comes, and he asks this. Aparam bhavato janma param janma vivashvataha katham etad vijnaniyam tvam ada upoktavaniti. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
yes, Mantri, Hare Krishna.
The sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed the signs to him?
Yes, Hare Krishna. So this is, the doubt basically it is coming because he is just now born, right? How, not just now born, but he has grandchildren also. But he's youth, and it is not because he's asking all this question now, because in the future what will happen? Everyone will question. Okay, Krishna is born out of Devaki, then why he has written in this sloka that he instructed this to sun god? So he is not asking from his son. He is asking this all for the us fallen souls, right? For us, he is asking that how to understand this, right? So why does Arjuna question? To defy demonic atheist people who say that Krishna is ordinary, right? So someone will say that the Krishna is ordinary. No, because Krishna's body and Krishna's spiritual platform, that is Sachidanand, is no difference, right? No difference, because we are covered. The soul is covered by this body, right? And the mind, intelligence, false ego. So we identify ourselves with the body, not with the soul. But it's not like it's likely with the Krishna, right? Because from the outer to inner, from the within and from the outside, it's all Sachidanand only, right? All Sachidanand. So he can appear and disappear anytime he wants, he as per his will, right? So for the demonic atheist people who will say that he is ordinary, they will be trying to know in order to understand for them, and wants Krishna to speak authoritatively, right? What is this authority, right? How he is saying this, right? So Arjuna is inquiring this for who do not believe in Supreme Personality Godhead, right? Arjuna knew perfectly that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead, the fountainhead of everything, and last word in transcendence, right? Krishna appeared as the son of Devaki and Vasudev on this earth as Lord's benediction, right? So why does Lord appears? It is for the devotees. He does not appear for killing Kamsa. No, he has appeared to protect his devotees, right? He is prepared to because Devaki and Vasudev were facing atrocities of the Kamsa king, right? The king Kamsa, right? For them, for those he for that for in order to protect the Devaki and Vasudev, he came in order to for in simultaneously what he did simultaneously killed also the miscreants also. So in order to protect them, he needed to kill him, right? So this is this is the scenario there. Paritranam sadhunam vinashaya duskridam. We will learn this, why he comes, right? So the atheists who consider Krishna an ordinary man come to know that Krishna is superhuman, right? Who consider that he is just ordinary, having just super ability, right? Superhuman ability, just he is having. The atheists will be think like that, and that he is such an Vigrah, that from listen, that he is understand, and that he is above the domination of modes of mental nature and above the influence of time and space, right? So basically, for the atheist, we will know that, okay, come to the Krishna is superhuman, right? So for him, it is explained that, okay, how he has done that, how he has done that. So that one does not question that how he has done that. So one will know that, okay, he's Sachidanand, his eternal form is bliss and knowledge, right? From outer and within. So he remembers everything. He remembers everything. Shri Krishna Vartara took place during the Sandhikala transit time in Dwapar Yuga in the 20th Mahavishwanath Mahamantra. So Lord Krishna, considered as Paripurna Avatara of Sri Mannaran, took birth in Chandramsha. Okay, we will discuss this somewhere else. So Krishna reveals his position in the Bhagavad Gita. How could you tell Bhagavad Gita to sun god? Vivashwani is senior by birth to you, right? Parampara, right? Parampara. The Parantapa, in the 4.5, O subduer of the enemy, one who gives to others transcendental knowledge, right? We will learn this. So now, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava acharjuna taneyaham veda sharvani natvam veta parantapa. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Yes.
please, Mataji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Nanya Matari. Yes, Matari.
The personality of Godhead side. Many, many birds, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. I subduer of the enemy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So many births have passed, right? So Krishna can remember. We cannot even remember our days before that. It seems at the same time, right? At the same time, what I have eaten, what I was doing, we cannot remember anything, right? But Krishna, since Krishna is like that, because Krishna from the outer, from the inner, he is all Satchidana. He is full of knowledge, right? That's why he is able to, remember everything. He can remember everything. I have passed and I can remember all of them, right? But you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. Right? He is the subduer of the enemy. Although he is conqueror of the enemy, he is the subduer of the enemy. But still, however material we thought that material we were progressed. But if we don't know that we are the soul and not the body, then it is of no use. That's why he's saying, oh, subduer of the enemy. You cannot remember, right? You cannot remember because that knowledge, because you are covered by the body also. The three modes of material nature is also acting on you. You are all not, you are not basically the whole, Sachidanand only. So here you can see the, beautiful picture that how, the Krishna, Krishna coming in the Sachidanand form. His body is not covered by the, Panch Mahabhuta. It's not affected. Everything rather it's coming from him. Its whole body is made up of Satchidanand only. It's not made up of some different things because everything is coming from him. He can transfer from from here to there. The souls can be transferred. The Balram is transferred, right? So he can do that. The Yog Maya, and everything he can do that, right? So he has the power. He has mystic opulences, all the mystic opulences, and he comes in directly in the form as Satchidanand, right? He doesn't come as covering with the body. 4.3 अजोपि स्नान अव्यात्मा भूतानाम ईश्वरोपि सान प्रकृतिम स्वाम अधिष्ठाया संभवामि आत्ममयया. हरे कृष्ण. हरे कृष्ण. साधना माता जी. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण.
Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here he clarifies that I am unborn, right? In the before chapters, we learned that Ajo Nityo Shashvato Yam Purano. Yes, we learned in the previous chapter न जयते न म्रियते व कदाचि नायम भूत्वा भविता न भूया अजो नित्यो शाश्वतो यम पुराणो, right? The living entity is like this, that it is ajo nityo shashvato yam purano, right? It is ajanma, unborn, right? So here also Krishna is saying that although I am unborn, right, he is himself is unborn, right? Previously he said the soul is ajo nityo shashvato. No, the soul is made up of Satchidanand, right? And similarly, he is made up of all Satchidanand only, nothing, nothing less. He is not covered by the body. So although I am unborn, now it is not talking about the soul, it's talking about himself. I am unborn, and my transcendental body never deteriorates. When he was fighting, he was youth. He was, he look. You can never see the form of Krishna as old. Have you seen any form of Krishna having beards, being aged? No photos are like that. No descriptions in the scriptures are like that. He had grandchildren, but still he was a youth of of age of 22 years old around. So that is the power, yeah, that is the mystic opulence, right? How can someone be, he is, his age, he was very old, and he is millions of years ago, he is millions of years old, right? He is the most primeval, right? So he is the oldest, right? So body never deteriorates, his body never deteriorates. And although I am the lord of all living entities, right, he is the lord of all living entities, I still appear in millennium in my original transcendental form. So he's appeared in this transcendental form, so so that no one questions, okay, what is his original form, what is his original form? So here is the answer, that Krishna's original transcendental form is like this, right? Two-handed form, having, having the flute in hand, right? Venu Rupa, beautiful roop of Krishna, and beautiful flute of the Krishna, right? And having pastimes with the Brajvasis, this is the transcendental form of the Lord, right? So here is the shloka which defines that, okay, this is my original form, this is my original transcendental form. Nowhere it is written, that it is not, no one can say against this, right? Because he himself is saying that this is my original transcendental form. He doesn't, in his original form, it looks like this, right? Rest all he takes as a avatara, but as Krishna, he comes as himself. That's why we basically, surrender to Supreme Personality of God. That's why he is the Supreme, right? His original transcendental form. So Krishna's form is spiritual, right? Our form is temporary, right? These two things we can see here, right? We are controlled by Maya, and Krishna is the controller of Maya, right? If you want to control your desire, then Rishikesha Rishikena, right? You be surrendered to Rishikesha, who is, controller of the senses, right? Who is them? The Krishna is the controller of senses, and by that you will, attain bhakti. Because if you take an example that, there is a house, and there is, the head of the house is Krishna, and there is this dog who is Maya. And if you want to enter to the house, the dog will bite you, right? But if you approach Krishna, you tell that, Krishna, I want to come, I want to meet you, right? Then he will say that, okay, Maya, you be away, the dog, you be away, then you can meet Krishna. So it's like that, right? If you surrender to the, the Supreme Personality, then Maya will go away right away. So now, so the summarize the differences between, what is the difference between the Krishna and the conditional living entity? What is the difference between it, right? No one can claim that, because we cannot remember anything. So how can we claim that we are the God, right? Someone is saying that, okay, you are the God and you have forgotten. No, that's not, the God never will never forget if he is God, right? So eternal Krishna is eternal and remembers past, present, and future. Achyuta never forgets, infallible. Why he is Achyuta? Because he never forgets. He never forgets. He is infallible, right? Eternal but forgets. And conditioned living beings are eternal, but it forgets, right? Why it forgets? Due to the covering of the, the gross body, and the subtle body, right? So remembers, and Krishna remembers all births because body does not change or deteriorate, right? Avyayam, right? And the conditioned living entities forgets the body changes because the body changes and deteriorates, right? Our body changes, and we forget that what we did in the past times, karma, we don't remember. What we did yesterday, we don't remember, right? Krishna appears by own will, right? Conditional living entity are appeared by karma. We pay, you do the activities, and due to which we are attached to the reactions, and therefore we appear, right? Krishna's body is transcendent, Satchidanand, right? Our body is material. Panch Mahabhuta, it is made up of Panch Mahabhuta. And Krishna's no difference between the body and the self, Advaita. Right? The Advaita philosophy, that there is no difference between his body and the self, right? His self, his soul, and himself is one, right? And this, for the conditional living entity, soul acquires an external body that is gross and subtle. So Lord's Prakriti, nature, and Swarupa, his form, right? The Lord appears in his own eternal body, two-handed with flute. Common living entity changes from one body to another, right? He compares with the flute, right? Although his body does not deteriorate like a metal body, it still appears that Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth. That he because he plays, he plays because to have loving exchange with his devotees. That's why he comes, right? So that's why he changes from the childhood, doing all Damodar Leela, and various Leela, Karnavatara Leela, Putna Leela, various Leela, and boyhood Leela, killing Kamsar, and the youth, and the youth, coming to the war of, Mahabharata, the Mahabharata. So this all this Leela he wants to play, and he enjoys that, various forms, right? But astonishingly enough, he never ages beyond youth, right? Because he had grandchildren, but he was still youth. Right? At the time of Kurukshetra, he had many grandchildren at home, or in other words, he had sufficiently aided by material calculations, right? Around 100 years, if it has passed, then how can he look like a 22 years old, right? Bhishma had the beard, Dronacharsya had the beard. How he's not having, right? So we never see a picture of Krishna in old age because he never grows old like us, although he is the oldest person in the whole creation, the past, present, and future. Neither his body nor his intelligence ever deteriorates or changes. Therefore, it is clear that in spite of his being in the material world, he is same unborn, eternal form of bliss and knowledge, changeless in his transcendental body and intelligence. So now we come to the final part, that why he appeared, right? The why question, right? First we talk about the history, that how the knowledge has come, right? And then he explained that how the knowledge has come, what are the parampara, why he taken from, he has its origin transcendental form. Then we come that why he is something has to be done, some karma has to be done, right? That's why he is come. So here comes the two important shlokas. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानाम धर्मस्य तदात्मनं सृजाम्यहम्. हरे कृष्ण. हरे कृष्ण. पूर्वा माता जी, हरे कृष्ण. हरे कृष्ण. Anyone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, or descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I dissent myself. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So wherever there is decline, religious practice, irreligion is prominent, right? Religious practice is declining, and there is predominant rise of irreligion. At that time, I discern myself. He is coming himself, right? He says that he is coming himself, right? When the Lord Rama comes, when the when basically Prahlad Maharaj says that okay, he is his father basically tries to kill him, then he says that okay, he is in the pillar, and he asks, he is in the pillar. So the devotee says yes, he is in the pillar. So in order to protect the words of the his devotee, right, in order to protect his devotee, and so religion doesn't basically rise is there, predominant rise is there. So he comes that he, just because Prahlad is said this, yes, he's my God is in the pillar. So Hiranyakashipu, right? So Narasimha Avatar basically comes, right? So kill the Hiranyakashipu. Right? Similarly here, here the picture. Can anyone say that what this picture depicts? Hare Krishna. Does anyone know that what this picture is saying or about? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Can anyone tell that what this picture depicts? The chat box, someone has said. Yes, Channi Mataji. Kamsha trying to kill Devki Mataji. Hari Bol Mataji. Yes, Mataji. So here Kamsha is trying to kill Devki Mataji. Then Vasudev says that okay, don't kill your sister because this is adharma, right? This is adharma, right? Religion. And this does not suit a king, right? So this is said by the Vasudeva, and he pleads that okay, whatever son will come, whatever the child will be born, I will give that to you, right? So much, such a devotees, such devotees, even after everyone were killed, and and after that, when he was the basically devotee of the Lord, Durga Mata. So he was a devotee of Durga Mata. Then ultimately, when the Shakti comes and Durga Mata comes and tells that you are a fool number one and that you tried to kill me, then he was saying, okay, sorry, sorry, that I will not do this. Then Durga Mata, already Krishna has born somewhere else. You are a fool number one, right? So then he was okay. He said that okay, sorry, this was my mistake that I tried to kill uh, Durga Devi himself, right? But after that, when he says sorry to Devki and Vasudev, then Devki and Vasudev, such a great devotee, right? Such a great Vaishnava, that they immediately, within 5 minutes, they say that okay, don't worry, it's okay. They have, Kamsa have killed the children of, Devki and Vasudev, and still they have forgiven the Kamsa. And this is the sign of a true devotee, right? You cannot even imagine that how they have earned, right? This is the right to earn, to, to have a Vatsalya rasa with the Krishna, right? So this is a very parenthood rasa with the Krishna, is a very rare rasa to enjoy, but they have achieved that, they have qualified, because such a devotee, such as Vaishnava, you will not find, right? Such a great devotee, right? So this is the, main thing. So when does Krishna appears, it is given here, right? So for what purpose, right? Talks about activities, explains and when and why Krishna appears, reasons of his descendant, right? When he appears, right? When he appears is this, and why the Lord appears in this world, or the Lord appears on schedule, namely at the end of the Dwapar Yuga of the 28th millennium of 7th Manu in one day of Brahma. So every day Brahma meets Krishna. He has no obligation to adhere to such rules and regulations, but he is completely free to act in many ways at his will. He therefore appears by his own will whenever there is a predominance of religiosity and disappearance of true religion. The principles of religions are laid down in Vedas, and any discrepancy in the matter of properly executing rules of the Vedas makes one religious, because he is giving the manual, right? So he has to ensure that this manual is being followed. This manual which is giving in the earth, the Vedas, it is there. He has to ensure in some way or the other that it is being followed, because everyone having some will, right? Everyone is having the will, but just out of, we Krishna has much greater plan, but still we go to, go to the god and demigods, and we ask for something, they give right away, right? But he has always some better plan, always he has a better plan. Rather, the will of, the will of the desire of the, the living entity is like that, but he entangles in the material world, right? So he comes that, okay, so to come and check, keep a check on it, the freedom to, does not religion, such flourish in the society. In order to do that, he comes. So therefore the principles of dharma, or religion, are direct orders of the supreme personality godhead. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam, right? Who is dharma? Tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. The highest principle of religion is to surrender to unto him only, right? What is the highest principle of religion? To surrender to supreme personality godhead. That is, there is no other religion above that, and nothing more. And whenever such principles are disturbed by the demoniac, the Lord appears. Lord Buddha, an incarnation of the Krishna, appeared when materialism was rampant, and materialists were using the pretext of authority for Vedas, right? They were killing animals on doing killing, and doing animal sacrifice on the name of the Veda. This is Kali Yuga, don't have the power that, okay, after the sacrifice, that it will convert into the humans, right? It will convert to the humans. It will go to it will have achieved the uni of the humans. It is not convinced in the Kali Yuga. So Buddha was, the Lord Buddha came, that unregulated killing of the animals on the pretext of the Vedas was going on, right? So Lord Buddha appeared to stop this nonsense and to establish the Vedic principles of non-violence. It is written in the Bhagavatam, right? So each and every avatar or incarnation of the Lord has particular mission, right? He comes from the particular mission, right? Everyone, even he, because everyone was not approachable to, in the Kali Yuga, he came into the Kali Yuga, right? So anyone was not approaching in the correct way, so he established, they established, just because, like we are saying the name, Hare Krishna. So he told everyone to say his name, Buddham Sharnam Gacchami. So everyone is saying the name of Buddha only. By that they will advance, they will achieve the knowledge of the, the spirituality, and they will advance, right? So similarly, everyone has a mission, right? In the Kali Yuga, you can see that every religion, whatever is there, they're all practicing some way or the other the Sankirtana Yagna only, right? Everyone is saying the name of the Lords only, right? Any religion you can, take and, see that. No one should accept it as an avatar unless he is referred to by scriptures, right? Unless and until it is written in the scriptures, one should not accept also, right? The Buddha, Lord Buddha's name, it is written in the Bhagavatam, right? So Lord can manifest himself anywhere and everywhere, and wherever he desires, whenever he desires to appear. In each and every incarnation, he speaks as much about religion as can be understood by the particular people under their particular circumstances. But the mission is the same, to lead people to God consciousness, right? And obedience to the principles of religion, right? One needs to act as per the principles of religions, and we need to go, become God consciousness, right? So sometimes he descends personally, and sometimes he sends his bona fide representative in the form of a son or servant, or himself in some disguised form, right? right? Various basically talk about the Father, the Holy Father, right? Various legend, the Son has come. So he talks about the basically the Holy Father, right? He talks about the Holy Father, his commented, right? Some say the messenger of the God, so right, so the servant of the God, right? So like this, various incarnations. Sometimes he comes himself, sometimes he sends his son, servant, or himself in disguise form. The whole purpose of the mission of the incarnation is to arouse Krishna consciousness everywhere, right? Second reason why does Krishna appear? Paritrāṇāya sadhūnāṃ vināṣāya ca duṣkritāṃ dharma samstāpanātāya bhavam sambhavami yuge yuge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So why he has come to deliver the pious, right? The first purpose of the Krishna is to deliver the pious, right? Just to is to get rid of the Kamsa, to to from the Kamsa, Devki and Vasudev. He came, right? So to kill the all the Kauravas, to guide the Pandavas to kill the Kauravas, he came, right, and to annihilate the miscreant. The both second purpose is fulfilled automatically, just in order to deliver the pious, just for he's coming for the devotees. Second purpose is already automatically fulfilled, as well as to reestablish the principles of religion, right? So two things he mentions, right, to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, and second thing is to reestablish the principles of religion. Vinasha dharma samstapana vidhaya, right? Paritranam sadhunam, to deliver the pious. Vinashaya to dushkritam, to annihilate the miscreants. Dharma samsthapanarthaya, to reestablish the principles of religion. Sambhavami yuge yuge, I myself appear millennium after millennium, right? Himself he is saying like this, right? So we need to understand that when he comes, right, at what circumstances he comes, for whom he comes, unless and until one is not a devotee, for him, why he will come, right? So we need to become the devotee of the Lord so that we can go directly to him, right? So Lord appears in different incarnations to deliver the devotee and vanquish the demon miscreant. The demon harasses the devotee, even though the later may happen to be his kin, right? The Kamsa was the kin of the Devki, right? Still he was harassing. The Duryodhana was the kin to Pandava, still he was harassing. Hiranyakashipu was the father of the Prahlad Maharaj. Then also he said that okay, he should be persecuted, right? So these are all the reasons. So Lord Krishna appeared primarily to deliver the Devki rather than kill Kamsa, but both were performed simultaneously, right? Such incarnations are situated in spiritual world, the kingdom of God. When they descend to the material creation, they assume the name Avatar, right? Krishna is basically into the spiritual. He is into present in the Goloka Vrindavan. Does he leaves any point of time Goloka Vrindavan? No. Still he comes here. That is inconceivable, right? He is present in the kingdom of God any and every time, right? Still he comes here, right? As a when he comes, then it is named as Avatara. So various avatars are there: Purusha avatars, Guna avatars, Leela avatars, Shakti avatars, Manavanta avatars, Yuga avatars, all appearing on schedule all over the universe, right? Krishna is the primeval Lord, the fountainhead of all avatars. Lord Krishna descends for the specific purpose of mitigating the anxieties of the pure devotees, right? We are into anxieties, so he comes, who are very anxious to see him in his original Vrindavan pastime. So it depends on our anxiousness. It depends on our, how much we love him, how much anxious we are, right? So therefore, the prime purpose of Krishna Avatara is to satisfy his unalloyed devotees. If our bhakti is unalloyed, it is ahituki aprahatare. It is unmotivated, it is uninterrupted, right? Then what happens? Then he comes, right? He comes to satisfy our urge. There should be urge. If we have no urge to meet Krishna, then why he will come? If we suppose we have urge to meet a person, then what we will do? We'll go and meet him. There should be urge, right? There should be urge. If he is approachable, then there is urge. You will directly go and meet him, right? So that is us. Various fans are there of various actors and all. There's material, material activities they do, and various fans. There is the urge. So much how much they urge and they go and meet him. So there should be, it should be like that. That how much urge we have. It should be unalloyed. It should be unalloyed, right? Should be no contamination in our devotion should be there. And Krishna comes to satisfy our urge, right? The incarnation in the age of Kali is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who spread the worship of Krishna by Sankirtana movement, right? He came and spread the movement to Sankirtana, congregational chanting of the holy name. That's why it is recommended that you come to the temple and you do congregational chanting, right? We do Kirtana, we do it congregationally, right? And spread Krishna consciousness. This avatar of Lord does not kill the miscreants, but delivers them by his causeless mercy. He didn't even kill Jagai Madai, right? Jagai Madai, where who hit the Nitai Prabhu on the hand, and all the blood was coming, and and he came, and they were blessed. Jagai Madai were blessed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then they converted because they were causeless mercy, right? Causeless mercy of the Lord, and everyone was whoever saw, when he was passing through some jungle in Jharkhand, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then the deer and the tiger both were dancing simultaneously side by side with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was chanting the names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It was a static feeling, right? And the tiger and deer were all dancing with him. So this is the power of, this is the power of devotion, is the power, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us that how, how powerful the name is, how powerful or how pure the name is, right? This is the power. So what is the, what is the benefit? No, no, what is the benefit? Why we want to know this Krishna's appearance activities? The question comes here, right? Why we know this? For that, the question answer comes here. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tvaktva deham punah janma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Even Okay, I will read. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, Arjuna. Right? So, Janma karma chamedi. One who knows the transcendent, if you know the transcendent nature of my appearance activities, right? If you don't know, then what will happen? You will not go to my abode. But if you know this, that what are my appear, how I appear, how my activities are, then does not upon leaving the then you will upon leaving the body will not take birth again in this material. One need to know this. Okay, this is the supreme personality of Godhead. This is the Can anyone tell that to whose photo is this? Hare Krishna. Can anyone tell what is the picture depicts? Lord Damodara, right? Who are the both both demigods here? Sons of Kubera, right? They are Nalakubera and Manigriva, right? It is written there, right? Nalakubera and Manigriva. They were basically cursed due to some, due to disrespectful behavior of them during the visit of Narad Muni, and they were ultimately, tied to trees, and and he said that okay, there is benediction in that, that once when Krishna will come, you will be delivered, right? So the Damodar Leela happened, and they were delivered, they were very thankful. So by knowing this Leela itself, the Damodar Leela itself, what will happen? One will attain the eternal abode, because he will know that he is the liberate, he is the person, he is the supreme personality Godhead, who will liberate us also like he liberated them. So by this devotion, if someone is knowing at the time of the death, who is thinking about this Leela itself, then what will happen? He will go to his abode, because he will be in awe. He will be in, he will be in very, he will be very surrendered to the Supreme Personality Godhead, and he will definitely want to meet the Supreme Personality Godhead. At that point of time, at the end of his life, what will we do? He will, attain ultimately the Krishna. Just by knowing this Leela itself. Okay, you don't read Bhagavad Gita. If you read this Leela, and and because it's written in the scriptures, you read this Leela itself, this can happen, right? This will happen, and one will attain my eternal abode. So knows the transcendent nature of my appearance and activities, does not upon leaving the body take his birth again in this material world, right? So first section we come to the last part. Pitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaha bhavo jnana tapasha puta madadhava bhavam agataha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love from me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here it comes that by knowing the transcendental appearance and activities, one will not take this birth again in this material world and attain his eternal mode. And being freed from the attachment, fear and anger. Right? No attachment is there, no fear is there because you are the soul. No anger is there because you are the soul. Being fully absorbed in me, right? Fully absorbed in Krishna, right? And taking refuge in me, right? Being surrendered to him. Many persons in the past came become purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me, right? So how to attain Krishna Prema? It is mentioned here, right? Be free from attachment, be free from fear, be free from anger, right? Fully absorbed in Krishna. Do all the activities in your daily activities, so for the love of the Krishna, right? In order to attain Him, what will happen? You will purify your senses, you will purify your activities, right? And then you will know who is Krishna, right? We will know who is Krishna, and you will attain His prema, right? So material people. Material people attached to the bodily conception of life cannot understand or even imagine that there is transcendental imperishable body full of knowledge and eternal bliss that is that of the Lord, right? One who is too much attached to the material things, what will happen? He will not be able to grasp the things that okay, this is transcendental. I have a transcendental body. I have imperishable body, right? I have it is there is full of knowledge that it is eternal bliss. He will not have the he will not even able to conceive this thing, right? That it is there because they are basically too much attached to materially, right? Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam. In the materialistic concept, the body is perishable, full of ignorance and completely miserable, right? The death will come, the old age will come, the disease will come, the birth will again come, right? At that the body concept, what will happen? This all will come. However good you are, however good manager you are, however good whatever the things are you are good at, whatever good skills are there, if you don't know God, then nothing is good in your life. Nothing is good, right? All misery is coming, is awaiting, will be full of misery because you are at the platform of body. Everything will be related to body, and so much misery is related to the body, right? For them, the Supreme Lord is non-existent, impersonal, right? Being materially absorbed, the conception of retaining the personality of liberation from matter frightens them, right? Because they don't know things, so it will frighten them. They will frighten heavily. So knowing of the existence of the spiritual life, that is individual and personal, scares them of the becoming persons again, right? Because they, just because knowing of existence of spiritual life. Spiritual life which is individual, right? The soul is individual. And personal scares them of becoming persons again, right? Because they want to enjoy through their body. Hence prefer a kind of merging into impersonal void. So what does Mayavadi's or monistic philosophy does? They want to get merged into the impersonal void because they think that okay, this is the body which is having so much miseries, and this body is the things are there, and they are thinking that okay, in order to do this, one should be going to the impersonal world. So what is the Brahman effulgence of the Lord? They want to get merged into the Brahman effulgence. They don't know about the personal relation of the supreme personality Godhead, right? So they will not be able to serve, right? So generally they compare the living entities to the bubbles of the ocean which merge into the ocean. This is the kind of fearful state of light. This is basically basically this is annihilation of spirituality, right? So devoid of perfect, so Prabhupada tells that this is the spiritual suicide basically, right? So devoid of perfect knowledge of spiritual existence. Many unable to understand spiritual existence, embarrassed by various theories and contradictions of philosophical speculations, become disgusted or angry and conclude on everything being void, right? Because here he is saying, Krishna is saying that okay, Vivishwa, I have told this to Vivishwa. He is taking names. He's taking in the second chapter, he's saying that okay, I'm an individual, you are an individual, again and again, everything. He's saying surrender to me. He is not saying surrender to some impersonal effulgence. No. But still, just because there is impersonal effulgence of the Lord, everything, the monist philosophical persons also, they get liberation, they merge into that. But they again, since they don't have any spiritual body, right? So what happens? They can't do anything. They can't, there is no birth, there is no death, there is no old age, there is no disease. So all four things are applied there. Okay. The fourfold miseries are vanished over there. but they cannot serve the Lord. They cannot serve the Lord. They cannot have rasa with the Lord. They cannot have no rasa is there with the Lord. What will happen ultimately? They will come down. Right? There is a very risk of falling down again to the material world. So they become, so such people are in a disease condition of life. Right? So that is a spiritual society tells, which is says by Srila Prabhupada. To get free from these three stages of the material concept of life, one has to take complete shelter of the Lord, not half complete, guided by bona fide spiritual pastor, right? And follow the disciplines and regulative principles of devotional life, right? So, ultimately, the last stage of devotional life is called bhava or transcendental love of Godhead that culminates in prema, right? Which Prahlad Maharaj had, the real love for God, right? So that is the last stage of, there are 9 stages of devotional, devotional life and coming in every devotee, and, starting from Shraddha to basically culminating in the Prema, Krishna Prema, right? So this all stages ultimately come to the Prema, and that is the last stage. So generally they compare the living entities to the bubbles of ocean which merge into ocean, and that is the fearful stage, and such people are disease condition. To free from these 3 stages of material construct, one has to take complete shelter of the Lord, right? So different degrees of affliction are there. What is raga? Strong attachment to the material life leads to negligence of spiritual life. What is bhaya? The fear of personal spiritual identity. For them, merging into impersonal is highest, right? Because they have fear of personal spiritual identity, right? Because they are too absorbed in the material bodily concept and concept of retaining personality, right? For a devotee, if you ask that you want to serve into, if you get the chance to serve the Lord into Narka, Patal Loka, yes, he will say yes, because he knows that my Lord wants to serve him into the Patal Loka. He will go right away. He will not have no second thought about it. Right. So this is the sign of a devotee. It doesn't matter where he goes. He only wants one thing, that okay, I need to serve the Lord. Right. That is my and anyway I will be doing some karma. Okay. Some karma I have to do. Then I have to serve the Lord. He will be blissful in the Patal Loka also. Right. So that is that is a sign of a devotee. Right. So impersonalists compare living entities to the bubbles in the ocean which merge into the ocean. They are they think things about this concept, right? The krodha, what is krodha? Conception of void resulting from frustration of life, right? They basically think that there is nothing beyond this. That is the void they are thinking. So they become angry at all sorts of spiritual speculation out of hopelessness, and they think that this is hopeless. Takes to intoxication ultimately and accepts hallucinations, spiritual vision. Some hallucination they get from some drugs and some some intoxication, some ganja and all. What happens? They basically assume it that okay, this is the spiritual vision, right? So today we end here. So sorry for again breaching the time of 1 hour. We'll try to keep it 1 hour. Okay, Hare Krishna, any questions for today? Hare Krishna. Okay, so we will end here. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you everyone for coming. Hare Krishna. We'll meet tomorrow at same time, 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Hare Krishna.